The best story of all is where the title to the book came from, on an impossible cast. And I want to tell you the story. About 2 years after I was completely out of the lure fishing business, my wife and I were in Kansas City visiting relatives, my brother-in-law and my sister mainly. So we decided that the Kansas City Sports Boat and Travel Show was going on at that time. It usually run about a week, and I worked that show many times up here at Lead Hill Boat Dock, listening to people and stuff, showing off big bass. But anyway, I said, let's go to the show tonight and see some of my old friends. So she said, yeah, I'd like to do that. So we went over to the show, pitching around the circle a little bit, and come to the Shakespeare booth, which I knew all the guys there because they were reps, you know. And I was visiting with them. Garcia had a young lady up on the stage up there casting, entertaining people. She was the public relations for Garcia. She had on black boots and red short shorts, and she had all of everything in the right places. She was one beautiful young lady. And I knew her just casually. I'd met her somewhere in Memphis or somewhere. And anyway, one of the Shakespeare reps said, Glenn, I'll give you $50 if you'll go up there and run her off that stage. So she's just killing us. I said, well, if I didn't bring my polar, I'd just do it. He said, well, there's a whole wall full of them. I said, okay, I'll do it. I said, give me that little 5.5 foot one right there. Let me see it just a minute. And he handed it to me, and I said, that'll be just fine. Put a 5/8 plug on there. So he tied a 5/8 practice plug on, and I go golfing up on the stage. Now, she's up there, but there was a couple other adults up there, and probably about 5 or 6 or 7 young people. And I started casting off on one side, you know, and of course that didn't take very long to draw some attention, and they started dropping out. Within 10 minutes, there was nobody on the stage but me and her and 200 people lined up all the way around the pool. Well, after about 10 minutes more, I'd do a cast, she'd copy it, and she'd do a cast, and I'd do it right behind her, and we was having a lot of fun up there. The crowd got to be about 400 people. And so Drunk down there at the end of the pool said, see y'all hit this. He set his drink up on the edge of the pool up there, styrofoam cup with his drink in it. So you put her in there. And I turned around to her and I said, that's an impossible cast. She said, yes, it's impossible from where distance. But she said, let's just give them what they want, we'll throw at it a little bit. I said, okay, you go ahead and cast that 3 times, I'll cast that 3 times. She said, okay. She stepped up there and touched down on it. She missed it. She hit around the edges of it. All 3 shots, never touched it. I walked up there and bowled that rod right down between my legs and I let it fly. Now when you cast underhanded, you can see the plug all the way there. But if you cast overhead, you can only pick it up after it gets 2/3 of the way there. So I had a better chance to line it up a little bit. You can't adjust it much after it leaves the rod, but you can do a little bit. So I put it bowed down to my legs of the bow and arrow cast and let it fly. Just a little bit off to one side, and it got right over the right spot I thought was above the cup, and I stopped it and it fell straight down into the cup. The cup wobbled a little bit, turned over, the ice and drink ran out with the practice plug, and it seemed like it was like about 5 minutes before anybody said a word, but I'm sure it was more like 30 seconds. It was totally silent. Then the whole 400 people exploded. I got my crank back in, did a few bows and high fives and whatever, and turned around to walk on stage, and the Black Beauty was gone. So I walked over and handed my rod and collected the only $50 I ever made in bass fishing.